Hello everyone, welcome to the DHL Knowledge Base Automation Portal. This is a portal designed to allow us to take messy raw input from any kind of source.txt or an email or docs or PNG or JPG, any type of file, and it will take it and turn it into a structured SOP or knowledge base article. The entire system is protected using role-based authentication and JWT. The JWT tokens allow us to give each user a token on login, and the token basically allows them to access the rest of the website. Thus, if I try to access dashboard without having logged in first, I won't be able to. Now, I will enter in an account and join in. This is also authenticates the password. If the password or username is wrong, it will not accept. Once we get in, you can see that we have our dashboard. Each dashboard is kind of personalized to the account or the roles, more specifically, of the account. And as such, we can just see what the admins have. Admins have articles, drafts, reviews by published users, and RPA runs. For example, Bigus, who is an editor, has only 4 total articles, drafts, reviewed, and published. You can't see automation run or anything. You can see the articles though. And this is just a workflow, what do you call? A workflow guide. So it shows how the workflow is. Reviewers can see articles, drafts, reviewed, published, and RPA runs. Now back to the admin. This is the admin's sidebar, side nav bar. This is the side nav bar for reviewers. This is the one for editors. So the admin, you can go check out the knowledge articles page. This allows us to what you call view articles, and admins and also editors can go to this page and they will have the create draft option. What you call reviewers will not have that option. They can admins and editors both can edit the articles. However, reviewers cannot edit article details, ones that have already been published. Editors can edit articles and they can create new ones. Admins can do anything on the workflow. So for example, an admin can restore an article that has been archived to a draft. Then reviewers, as their name suggests, can review an article that has been restored as draft. Then they can mark it as reviewed and then they can publish it. So it will become published. After that, the admin can archive it and that will be it. The version history and the status history is shown down below. Here you can upload a file to or source. This is your raw source input, your SOP content, metadata, etc. And the admins can edit this. Let's say I'll get rid of this SOP. They can also change stuff for raw source input, for structured SOP content, adding or removing tags, etc. If I save changes, damage particle parcel handling now is that, and the tags now have been updated to whatever I had selected previously. We now have the create draft page. This is something both the admin and the editor share. Now, create draft page allows you to manually create drafts. So you have you can put your text, and then you can select drafts, and this will be it. Let's say you have a source file like a .txt file, and you want to automatically create it. You don't feel like writing it. If you do, then you can go to the upload console. This allows you to upload a file, and then via using an artificial intelligence, it will then read and then fill in the what's it called? It will fill in all the details by itself. It will also select tags, and then you can create the draft from the upload. This will allow us to have the article. You can then go view this created article. As you can see, now that article will be there in the knowledge base. Now we have our upload console, our automation upload, and lastly we have this automation. No, sorry, not lastly, the one before last. We have our automation console. This allows us to see all the things that are going on in our automation runs, when it started, when it finished, whether the summary email has been sent, processed, execution logs, etc. If it fails, it takes a screenshot and puts it at this location, DHL RPA task. So the screenshot will be here, and you can then see why a certain automation failed, or like the failure, because it also says why it failed. For example, this one, the object reference was not set to an instance of an object. Lastly, we also have our create new user area. This area allows the admin to create new users. Let's, for example, say one Zaf. Then I can give him a name. I can give him a password, and I can give him a role, whichever one I want. I'll give him admin. Then I'll create. I can now change one Zaf's email to editor. I can change it to RPA bot. If I change it to editor, and I can also change his password from one password to something else. So let's say Zaf123, save. As you can see, the password. Now if I log out, I'm trying to log in using one Zaf. There, we have now been able to log in. So that's all the user management area. Now we have a few methods of how the source material can be obtained. One of them is emails. So the way this works is, if an email is sent to the specific address of fires plus DHL RPA, if it's sent to this DHL RPA email, no matter what subject or what, in basically the when it's sent to this email, this will then take us to here. Yeah, that has now come into our DHL RPA inbox from Fires Ahmed. We had this test. And here we have our upload console. From here we can add in new files to our Google Drive. And Google Drive, this one allows us to input in .txt, .jpg, .png, or .docs to the system for processing file, what do you call, processing SOPs from file uploads. Now let's turn on the bot. This will start a run every 5 minutes. It will make a run, and it will, what do you call, automatically process everything and start up. All right, everyone. Since I don't want to wait for the next 5 minutes to actually see the run, I'm going to start it now using the studio over here. Let me just run it. And go here. As you can see, an automation ID has been created. The Gmail, the email from Juan was there. It has now gone in. It has checked and done. Now it's going to process through. All right, our summary has been completed. Now we can go to our Google Drive. We can see nothing remains in new. The ones that failed have moved to the failed section. The ones that were duplicates have moved to the duplicate section. And the ones that have been processed properly are now in process. And now we can go to our front end. You'll see the new one, partial success, because there were like some that were some were failed. These two were intentionally supposed to fail, so therefore the failing was correct. Warnings for the duplicate sources, and now we can see that the articles have been created. And as such, we can also see that a summary email has been sent to this one. Go to the inbox. As you can see, we have our summary email. 8 for duplicates, 2 failed, and 2 completed. The intended results. All right, then that is how the system is supposed to work. Thank you everyone for watching.